Hello and welcome to the Flavor Crew. Today we have something very special for you.
When it comes to candy, I'm all about the chocolate. So today we're going to make my absolute favorite candy bar. Do you know what that is?
Almond Joy.
Oh, you're so close. It's Mounds.
That's right.
It's got dark chocolate and no nuts. All right, Flavor Crew. So what we're gonna do is make those homemade Mounds bars, and you only need 4 simple ingredients. You'll need a bag of coconut flakes. It's 14 ounces. You can get sweetened or unsweetened. You know, whatever you can find is fine. You'll need a can of sweetened condensed milk. This is 14 ounces. You'll need 1/4 of a teaspoon salt. Those 3 ingredients is the center of your candy. And then you'll need a bag of dark chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate if you like semi-sweet. You can even use milk chocolate. I'm actually got 2 bags just in case. I'm not sure if I'll have enough and I don't want to run out. So if I end up with extra, well, then we'll just have to make chocolate chip cookies or something like that. Anyways, that's all the ingredients for. It's so simple. So I've been wanting to make this for a while, and I've had the flakes in the refrigerator for a while. So hopefully they're not a clump. I don't think they will be at this point, but hopefully we have flakes and not a bar of coconut. So let's see. Oh no, it looks really good. Okay, so just put the coconut flakes in the bowl. So one of the things that I would do is, because you're adding salt in it, I would add salt right now and kind of mix it in so it's not in one clump, and so it gets spread a little bit. And just a tiny bit. You just don't want it to be all in one spot, that's all. Okay, my kitty, you hear my kitty? That is Charming. That is our boy. He may meow, just ignore him. All right, then we're gonna add the sweetened condensed milk. So, just undo that. Now, one of the things about sweetened condensed milk, depending on where you buy it or what brand, I should say what brand, not where you buy it, the coloring on the inside of the milk itself may be lighter or darker. And that doesn't affect the flavor, obviously, but it does affect the coloring on the inside of the candy that you're making. So if you're making a candy, say like this, and you want it to be white inside, it may look a little dingy, but the taste will still be fabulous. So I know that this Walmart brand that I bought is a lighter color and it comes out pretty. So that's why I bought this brand. So I'm using a spatula to get the condensed milk out so I can get as much of it out as possible. But I will not be using this spatula to mix, because this ends up being a very, very thick and sticky mixture, and this spatula is way too bendy and it won't give me the stability that I need or firmness. So when it comes to, here, let me put this down and get rid of this. When it comes to mixing, yes, now I licked my finger, so I'm gonna have to wash my hands before I do the main mix. But anyways, when it comes to mixing, you need a firm spoon or wooden spoon. When I've made this previously, I used a spoon that was not a firm spoon, and it practically bent in half. So I just use one of my tablespoons from my regular silverware. So You're gonna want to mix this pretty good. Like I said, it's gonna be pretty sticky, but I like the texture of that in the candy itself. And the goal here is to get all the coconut flakes wet with the condensed milk, so you don't really have a dry flake. Okay, so that may take a little bit of time and a little bit of arm power because, like I said, it's a thick mixture and sticky, and but it's starting to look pretty good. All right, you can kind of tell if you're looking at the mixture when you stop seeing the white flakes. I don't know how to explain it, but you can tell they look moist everywhere. Oh, and there. Make sure you stir up the bottom because the bottom flakes were not stirred in yet. All right, I think we're looking good. Okay, that's your mixture. Super simple. Okay, all right. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to form these into different shapes. And previously when I tried to make these, I tried to use a cookie cutter, and let me tell you, that does not work at all. It's too sticky of a mixture. Even freezing it first, they just become a big blob. So it's better just to do a simple form, circle, square, rectangle, and you can put it on a tray on wax paper and spread it out and freeze it and then cut it. But I'm gonna save a step. I'm gonna put it on wax paper, but I'm gonna form the shapes by hand to begin with. That way I'm just freezing it all once, and then I can actually make the cookies. Not the cookies, those aren't cookies. Candy bars. All right, so what I need, because this is so sticky, is I've got a bowl of water so that I can stick my hands in the water for a little bit to make the filling not stick so much. So I'm gonna go grab that real quick. Okay, so here's my water. And what I'm gonna do is put this stuff down here, and I'm gonna get out my wax paper. And where can I put that to be not messy? Okay. I got a sticky mess on my tray here. That's okay. So get a piece of wax paper, put it on your tray. All right, so you're gonna wanna wet your hands first. And what I'm gonna do is use my tablespoon here as like a scoop and measurement. So I'm gonna go a little bit mounded, okay? And I'm just gonna take it with my hands. Now this is, like I said, gonna be sticky. So you're just gonna have to wash your hands later after you're all done with it. But just kind of form them into what a normal Mounds bar looks like. And just set it on and go to the next. All right, so they don't have to be perfectly even, everyone the same, you know. It's homemade. That's the beauty of homemade. You know, everything is a little different, but I think that's the beauty of it. All right. Now, when you're doing it, if you get some and you think you want it a little more or a little less, just take it off. Now, I can tell my hands are starting to get more sticky already, so I'm just gonna dip them in the water again. All right, so I think I kind of showed you how that goes. I'm gonna make the rest of these and then I'll come back. All right, here we go. This is all the candy formed, and we ended up with, it looks like 18. That's pretty good actually. And so what I'm gonna do now is put it in the freezer. You can go as little as an hour. That should make them hard enough to dip, but I'm gonna go 2 hours just to be sure. So in the freezer they go, and I'll come back in 2 hours and we'll get the chocolate melted and get ready to dip them. So it's been about 2 hours now and the candy filling should be firm enough. So it's time to start getting the chocolate melted so we can do the dipping. And I did want to mention, I did wash my hands earlier when I went and got that water. So just in case you thought, oh goodness, she picked up her kitty, licked her fingers and then made candy. Not that it would have mattered really, because the only one eating it is me and my hubby. So, but it's always good to wash your hands when you're cooking, because you never know if you're going to share it with other people. Okay, so now we're going to melt the chocolate. And like I had said earlier, I don't know if I'm going to need 2 bags, so I'm only going to open the one to start with. And you can temper your chocolate if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that step. What I am going to do is I'm going to add half a tablespoon of shortening so that I still get a sheen on my candy. So we'll dump in the chips. And we're going to add that shortening. Okay. And what you want to do is you don't want to zap the chips in the microwave for a long time to begin with. You need to go in short increments because you don't want your chocolate to scorch or clump up. So we're going to start with 30 seconds and then we're going to stir it and we're going to do another 30 seconds and then we're going to stir it and we're going to see if we need more time. So I'm going to go in with the first 30 seconds. So what I'm going to do is put this in the microwave for 30 seconds. Don't go longer. Okay, here's our first 30 seconds. Now, if you look at it, you're going to think, well, it doesn't look like it did anything. You do need to stir it because even though it doesn't look like it, it has started to melt a little on the inside. So give it a little stir. You'll see that it does have a little bit of give in it, but obviously we are going to have to give it more time. Okay. Put those up there. Okay, I'm going to go in for the next 30 seconds. All right, here is our next 30 seconds. I can definitely see that it's actually melted quite nicely. I mean, I can still see a few chips in there. Now, if you get to this point and you see that you're going to need to go longer, don't go 30 seconds again. You can go 30 seconds twice, so you can do a minute of 30 seconds each. Once you do that, if you need more, you need to go down to 15 seconds. Because like I said, we don't want to scorch our chocolate and we don't want it to seize up. So we just have to be patient. Now this is looking pretty good, but I do think I want to go 15 seconds more because it's kind of thick and I don't want a super thick layer on. Ooh, my kitty's getting me. Charming. Oh, come on, buddy. All right, 15 seconds more. All right, 15 seconds more. And I say that is perfect. So you may be longer than 1 minute, 15 seconds. That's what my total was. Or you may be just 1 minute. So every microwave's a little different and they heat differently. So you just have to try it and see what you get. Okay, so this is looking great. So now let me get the candy bar filling and we'll start dipping. All right, I need to get a few forks. All right, I've got a couple of forks. And I don't want my spoon in here while I'm doing this. So I'm just gonna have to make a little mess on our paper. Oh, actually, I'll put it on this bag. Okay, so what I do recommend when you're doing the dipping is you're gonna need something to mix and move the filling around in the chocolate. Don't use spoons Or if you're going to use a spoon, use 1 fork and a spoon. Because when you use a spoon, the chocolate's going to puddle in that spoon, and you're going to have extra chocolate that's kind of wasted. You don't want to do that. And the forks, the extra chocolate will just fall through the tines, and it'll be perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to pick them up with my hands because they should be frozen enough. And there's a lot of these, so they're probably not going to stay cold enough before we get through the chocolate. I'm probably gonna have to put them back in the freezer. So just know that you might want to take them out 4 or 5 at a time to dump them, and then that way you're not having to continue to refreeze them. But I'm just gonna throw it in, take my fork, kind of roll it around in there. Ooh, bring it up. I'm gonna get the extra chocolate off the bottom. Normally I would put these on a different plate, but I'm just gonna put them right back. And grab the next one. Again, you just dunk it in there, flip it around, get the chocolate all the way over it, bring it up, kind of shake it a little bit. You can even use the other fork to pull some of the chocolate off the bottom of it. Bring it back over to your sheet and just scoot it off and go to the next. Just do this till you got them all the way done. I'll do one more and then I'll do the rest and come back and show you how we ended up. So we got all the candy dipped and we're pretty much ready for taste test, but I want to let you know a few things. I did end up having to use more than 1 bag of chocolate. I ended up getting into the second bag and I used about half. Also, I had to put those back in the freezer, obviously, while I melted the chocolate, and because there was so many, they did start to melt a little bit, or I wouldn't say melt, but they would have been too soft for the chocolate and then they wouldn't have worked. And I had to actually roll the last 4 from the first bout of chocolate because it was so low, I couldn't spin it around with the fork to get the chocolate all over, so they look a little bumpy, but they're gonna taste great. Actually, they kind of look cool. But anyways, and then this weird little piece here, this was the little bit of chocolate that was left in the bowl, and I don't want to waste it. So what I did is I put it on a piece of wax paper, and maybe when we have ice cream, we'll break it up and sprinkle it on top, so it's not wasted. Anyways, Bradley, come and give this thing a try.
So these look great.
Thank you. I hope they taste good. I'm sure they will. They look yummy. Let's go with the little ones.
Okay. I want a big one.
You can take a big one if you want. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Those are so good. Oh yeah.
Tastes just like the real thing.
It really does.
I feel like I got chocolate on my face.
I know. These are wonderful. Look at it.
Fantastic.
So, if you want to store them, you can put them in your fridge. But what I like to do is I like to maybe keep a couple out in the fridge, put the rest in the freezer, and then just pull a few when I want some. So, oh my goodness. These are wonderful. I'm not going to stick more. You're going to... I will wait to take... No, I want to take more. Okay. Yummy. That's it. So, what is your favorite candy?
Yes, put it down in the comments. And if there's a candy you'd like us to try and make, no promises, but we'll try it.
We can try.
Please like and subscribe to our channel if you like the content and want to see more. Ring that dinner bell for notifications.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it. We'll see you next time.
What are you guys still doing here?
Go cook something.